We are live. Hello, will I make it on time today? Yes, I did. Somehow. Shout out to Navarre for distracting me, because he did not have my best interest in mind, sending me a bunch of roast videos. I'm a complete mess. We're getting things rolling. Cross is the only one who pulled up, so Cross is here. Cross 13. I am completely out of New York jokes. Say hello to the people. What's up with you?
What up, everyone?
It's
kind of funny because yesterday you were on Historical Cross.
Yeah, right.
And now
it's more of the same.
Now,
key, I should just drag Navarre in here and start just cooking his ass. But we will proceed. We're punctual. The fuck, we are punctual. This is the ranting hour. I'm slow today. I don't even know do I even rant about anything anymore? I'll be angry lately, dog. I got back in the gym. I'm not angry about things. I'm hitting on my boy the elliptical. I'm eating right. I had some jasmine rice, lightly peppered salmon, and some microwave vegetables. I'm feeling fine. But this is really just the place where I go to talk about things because I am too lazy to make videos. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm a head ass. Navarre's a bigger head ass though. But
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, fuck Navarre. If y'all want to see more ugliness, I was on Historia Cross's show last night, and we talked about Edgar and Papa Limo, and then we talked about a bunch of other stuff too. It was really it was really fun. So go and check that out. Show some love because Cross is doing this thing. He's ramping up his streaming game. He's still ugly though. But like my video too. Jesus. Cross about to pull up on the memes. I've been watching roasting videos today. It's just one of those days. Fucking intro. Anyways, thing I wanted to talk about. I wanted to potentially talk about some C100 ideas, but I have this idea. Damn, I'm late. No, I'm on time.
No, he's talking about him.
No, that's the joke. He's late because I'm on time. He would have been on time if I was late.
That's true.
Jesus Christ. So I wanted to what's his name? Sir Alex was talking about this on Discord. Gone back and forth with Ink a little bit on it. But it was an idea I've been floating around, that pulling for filling out roster purposes or random roles. I've had a couple comments with people saying, I might I forget where it was. I should take notes more often, but I've seen a couple more comments of people saying I want to pull this because I don't have this on my roster, etc. And I think while that kind of worked maybe around Chaos when there weren't as many characters in the game and the roles weren't so easily spread out, I think that that's kind of a dead concept at this point. One thing, and I wish Ink was here so I could bounce this off of him further, but he's not. This is my fault. I didn't explicitly say someone join me. I just said whoever feels like join, because I did not plan anything today. I'm a mess. Anywho, so probably like if I were advising people for like polls, it would not be in the terms of let me check off this box, because I think power creep. And this is something that could potentially be debated, by the way. So if anyone's looking to throw hands with me on stream, this is maybe something to throw some. But yes, Super Pig, even for Dimensions End, and my claim, I declare that as my stance, because I think with Dimensions End, I don't think it's smart to pull for things that are already out of date, power crept, and two, by nature, they're already going to be non-limited. So you're not getting anything out of rushing, except unless the edge case would be the once in a quarter, I think, Transcendence. Navarre, don't tempt me for fucking debate hour, the roasting hour. Jesus, but like for example, getting Kais now to fill in a gap in, let's say, Transcendence 1, because you don't have launches yet. I think it'd be much better to maybe fill those roles out over time rather than spreading your stuff out, because a lot of the stuff that you can do in Transcendence is as we get more power creep, it's going to be easier to just burn through them, because I don't know if anyone's experienced this, but going back to some old Lufenias, like I know Cross because you've been doing this for the Lufenia missions, like they die a lot faster. You notice that they die so much faster.
Oh no, they die mad quick.
They die in minutes. And I think a lot of people who might be suggesting or thinking about roll coverage to go backwards, they might be missing out on. You see what Mino just sent me?
Hold on, let me see.
The FF14 thread on Reddit. It's funny because I was talking to Alfie about that earlier too. FF14 count +1, and they're not even on stream.
Make that +2.
Yeah, it's +2. Honestly, yeah, just by proxy. GGTube, it used to matter, but 99% of the content can just get Garnet fucked. That was an interesting way to phrase that.
Yeah, that was a very interesting way to phrase that.
Navarre, don't even say nothing to me, boy.
Oh my god, not that video. Bro, that video.
Look like a motherfucker.
Bro, I remember in, what's it called, high school, everyone would just do that shit.
Bro, because it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
I miss Vine, bro. I miss Vine.
Same.
But where was I going with that? I think what people don't realize is that it's easier to power creep stuff. And if you're going backwards in fights, generally, even if your roll coverage is something you fill out over time, especially as we advance more through C90s, it's going to get easier to carry through roll stuff. And then when we get to FR era, even more so, it's going to be since there's LDs on every banner, the odds of you not having something or not being able to crush an older fight with some mechanic specifically is going to get a lot. The odds of you not being able to do something is going to get a lot easier. If for 97, the game's only getting easier. Yeah, especially if you go backwards. I think, and I think it's a mindset that might not have carried over well throughout the older ages. So say, in one of the issues I have is when people bring up specific roll coverage like off-turn damage or traps, because you don't necessarily need that to do anything outside of hitting a specific orb. So my stance on that is going to be, if you need something specifically, the only time to prioritize that is going to be if it's a current event, and it'll always be on banner. Like on this current the fight in JP that I haven't done yet, that you need potentially Dispel for. Baltier's right there. If you really need it that bad, it'll be just on banner. And if you can't do it, it's likely that you could power creep it and plus bring a friend unit. So I think that's the thing. Is like most of the orbs that we have for like fights, there is most likely 1 or 2 units on that banner that can like satisfy the orb. So you don't really need to like just like pull for roll coverage if you even have the roll coverage to like help that out, because like that's why the upcoming Layla fight, right? You know how like they have the dodge orb, but people were speculating that they were probably gonna move Prompto over there until
but Layla's right there.
I think it's gonna be Bosch now, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Bosch too. Yeah, but you got Prompto, and then maybe if they did it, Layla right there. But it's like if you have the roll coverage for that, you definitely don't need that.
Yep, and in terms of HP damage mitigation, by the way, we have we have Guy this month, and then we have Layla, potentially Bosch if I'm right about my guess, and then we have Beatrix. And these quote unquote unrelated. You heard people type quote unquote or say quote on. It's not on quote. It's quote unquote. Like it's the open quote and then the closed quote. You don't stack quotes together. Some hooked on phonics shit. Anyways, someone said something I wanted to bounce off of earlier. Is the game getting too complicated with Shinryu and Force Gauge? No.
Not really.
No, not at all.
The thing about Shiryu and Force Gauges is like you more likely are going to bring units or like whatever calls you have to satisfy the force you're going to use, so it's not really that complicated.
If anything, it got simpler because they homogenized a
a
lot of buffs across the board, and it's easier to just think about like supports in terms of like caps and like boost. What damage do they boost? What do they hit? Like stuff like that. I think the game's actually gotten a lot simpler and more smooth. GG Tubes, that's what I wanted to talk about. Blind Eye shilling Final Fantasy X. All Blind Eye talks about is Final Fantasy X and barbecue, bro.
Listen, honestly, I'm just waiting till it did get simpler like over time because people were just like, oh, I gotta pull for this FR, I gotta pull for that FR, I gotta get this unit to make this FR work, and it's like,
yeah,
calls work out for that condition too. Like I've seen like, because I watch every one of your Saber runs, and like you don't have Saber with like characters like Paladin, Cess, or anything like that, but you compensate that for calls, right? Like with the Fujin and the Ash call. So it's not really. It actually got easier the more like FR era like started to more FRs that came out.
Yeah, it's every. I want it at some point because I promised like pre-Lufenia. Damn, I'm full of shit. I was saying this on this like was it? No, it was in VC last night. I was saying like I lie to y'all constantly.
Oh no, you lied like a motherfucker.
I am. Why the fuck do you lie? That's me all the time. Like I've said. Oh my god, I've said so many videos that I just never made. Like I wanted to make a like compilation of some of the like panic takes like pre-chaos and like when JP first got chaos and Cosmos and people lost their minds in global, and I wanted to make a video showing how the people have been saying the exact same thing about the game every time there's JP power creep and how now is no different. I think I wanted to get that out of the way again because with there's only 2 C90s left. It's just Hope and RNA. And there's inevitably going to be some new form of power creep that people are going to be like, oh, the game's going to fall apart now. Would you believe that people thought 3 years ago that the game was going to end in 2 years because people can cap their 99k HP damage limits sometimes? That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But that was
that is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that was not an uncommon take at the time. So, Jesus, lost my train of thought. GG2, I would love to recommend Beatrix for role coverage, but who cares when you want defense utility? Zach is there if you want to blow damage up. You have Garnet. Yeah, and even then, if you wanted some defensive stuff, that's not a... let me pull up Nidre's site real quick. DFFOO tip. Nidre has great taste in... never mind. But like defensive type units, we got Zach, and then you got Steiner right after. If Selfie comes right after, you got Wall. Laguna with the blind, and then we got RCL for the silence. So like, there's like a bunch of ways to go about things nowadays. So I think role coverage as itself, I think it's what I'm trying to get at is like the checkboxes. Trying to hit checkboxes in this game, I don't think works anymore. And you're better off pulling for where's my wait a second.
What?
I had an alert box that is no longer working. Is it gone? What the hell? Blind Eye, thank you for remembering up.
OBS does that.
Nah, because I got an overlay for something that it shouldn't be working. Anyways, founder guy, is that our founder or is that somebody else?
Yeah, that's our founder.
Okay, founder, thank you and Blind Eye, thank you for remembering up. Have I had memberships for at least 8 months? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to say this stuff is so widespread. What up?
By the way, before you finish that sentence, you said Laguna has blind. I think you mean Irvine.
I definitely meant Irvine. My bad. Jesus Christ. Oh, thank you. And then Snow's got mitigation, then Freya and 9, and then Rides and Gale. Like all this stuff isn't. So I would never. I don't think at this point recommend anyone go for any specific thing unless it specifically breaks. I've been preaching this more and more, but making those effective investments are better than shotgun investments. And then I know Mino's gonna like contort that because he's trying to argue with me that he's gonna be bored if he doesn't pull in everything. That's a completely separate argument. But I think in terms of making the best of your account, making those big investments and then knowing how to stretch them out is really the best thing. Like, I've been seeing every single video, you just keep running Noel and Liud, and it's hilarious because those two are well invested and you're just blowing shit up. And that's really how you end up saving in the long term, to be honest. Knowing how to make your shit work. Shinryu make calls more useful. Facts. Pick Braska. Support Ject. Blind Eye, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Blind Eye. Blind Eye has been on this Lulu Braska copium for a good month.
Bro, Blind Eye, I'm so sorry, my friend. Garbage time is not permanent. No. Game in Shinryu simple, do more damage. GT2, the game has always been do more damage. It's just there's a stricter way on how to do more damage. Har, whoa, hello Har. Shout out to Har. Har Taidasu. If I had a nickel for every time I heard BC talk about a video idea that never came out, I'd be able to buy a new PC. Damn, how much does this PC cost? Does that include a new graphics card? Because, ouch. What are you saying, Cross?
I was gonna say, what's it called? Like, most of the time, like you're going, like this game has always been about doing the most damage you can possible. It just depends on you, how much the damage you're doing is, on the stage. Like the stage is requiring you to do a certain amount of damage. Like their stages have DPS checks.
Damage wins at the end of the day. That's why blowing past stuff is easier than being cute a lot of the time. I was talking to my buddy about these easy fights yesterday, and he was like, "I will respect stages that respect my time, because if it's just pussy ass Muhammad not doing a single brave attack on the recap, it's like why bother at that point, bro." Also, I think here's unrelated. A big misconception I had about Shinryu and force charging was that I thought Braska, that was a specific Braska feature with charging the gauge. No, that's just dead skills in general. So once I realized, I was about to pull for Braska until I realized you didn't need to, like Ignis and Pinello do that, and you don't need their FRs to do that. So even Braska isn't great at that.
You know, it's funny. Rem just got her force enhancements, and she charges the gauge with her skill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Rem stonks going up. Core. There's the interaction with Core that I thought was a bug. That's not a bug with Braska. Where if Core's, I don't know, y'all. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know Core has an interaction with at least Luna Freya and Braska. Where I think if he's hitting their force condition on the preemptive, he doubles their force. So Core might be a retroactive Braska buff. So maybe Blind Eye's gonna get the W there.
Jesus.
Game is too free to play friendly. Makes me angry. Man. Give me these struggle tweets. These got to be the people Kaiden talks to, bro.
These struggle tweets, it has to be, bro. I still need to know where he goes to find all this shit. There's just no way.
Kaiden's got real PTSD. Speaking of me lying, by the way, I've been telling Damashi that I'm gonna watch his video since like last week. I still haven't watched it.
You're actually like terrible.
Okay, no, that's not a lie. That's just I've just played a lot. No, it's just bro, it's on my mind, and then like I go to sleep thinking like, damn, I didn't watch the video today. I'll definitely do it tomorrow. Same with Indo's video, because people have been saying it's hilarious, and I have no doubt that it is hilarious. But like, it's like the day happens, and then I'm like, shit, I didn't do it. Maybe I'll try tomorrow, and then the day's over again. Damn, I'm old as shit. Let's debate. Oh, Mino wants in. All right. Hi, Mino. What do you want to debate about? We're live.
What the fuck?
Huh?
What? What do you want?
Excuse me? What? Wait, what do you mean, what do you want?
I'm so confused.
I was hanging out in chat. You pulled me in.
Yes, because I assumed because you were in the lobby you wanted in. Do you not want in? Because I can kick you back out.
What are we talking about?
I don't know, because I dragged you in and got confused.
No, but I mean, what's the agenda?
I don't know. That's we're just kind of winging it right now. To be completely honest, okay, Ink, we go back to the roll covers thing. Roll covers doesn't matter as much because of the kits being homogenized. Yes, I think so, but I also think that's a factor of there being so many ways to go about things.
I think that's a weird, like Ink. Are you saying that's a bad thing? That
I don't think there was no judgment there. It was a statement of fact.
I know. I just wanted, yeah. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, where are you going with the homogenized kits yet? Because, like,
I like it. I like that. I don't that there's like probably one specific thing a character can be good for, but there's other options. So it focuses more on
I feel like that's just RPGs.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, like what RPG do the kits not constantly overlap? Like if I play an FF game, like what are you doing with like let's say FF6, right? I think that's Ink's favorite. Most people just equip the Espers and they're the same character, right? Like they're not doing anything differently. It's not like tools and blitzes are actually that different. Or like if you want to do like FF7, you've got the materia system. It's not like the base kits are that different. I thought the whole thing of
blind
RPGs are like,
oh my god,
play whoever you want, right? Like Sphere Grid and FF10, they're all the same. Even the Persona characters have a lot of overlap in elements and like role. Like what RPG are the kits not homogenized?
Blind Eye said, "You know how I was a blind eye, Beatrix." Jesus. Oh god. DK says, I mean, right now you can literally wipe the game with 3 or 4 characters. Are you pushing to keep your units to the minimum number? No, that's different. That's a different point. I'm saying more. My point is that I don't think it's a good idea to just try and fill out a checklist for your roster, because there's usually more than one way to go about things, and if you're hard stuck on something current, then it's probably on banner. So if you're looking at Fairy and saying, oh, I need an off-turn damage dealer, and you're not going to fully invest in them, I think that's a bad decision to make.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely a bad
And
decision.
you're better off waiting for someone you'd rather fully invest in, rather than just trying to check boxes just because you can check them.
Like if I know I'm gonna
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Like if I know I'm gonna use a unit like a lot, and like I'm going to like put a lot of them, like use them in a lot of my runs, I'm gonna put them at the highest investment. I'm not gonna put them at budget investment, because then I'm not getting the best out of them.
It's just wasting your time at that point. It's math. If a unit's doing 80% of the damage on your team, ramping them up is gonna give you much bigger returns than spreading that out across everywhere. What were you saying, Mino?
Oh, I was saying Ink responded, so I was gonna respond again, but he is saying like Mino, like, yes, you can do that in those games, but it allows that customization. We don't have that in DFFOO. It's different levels, and I still don't understand, because like, I mean, there's like over 1,000 Pokemon out there, right? Like, what do you do with Pokemon? You don't customize Pokemon. You just pick the ones you want to use and you use them, right? Or like, you don't really customize like any other JRPG, right? Like, you don't really customize your Persona characters. You just pick who you want to use. I'm still not understanding how this is different than like literally any other RPG.
I haven't played 6, but XCal is saying if you grounded everyone to OP levels, true. Blitz tools and Blitz make small differences, but in lower level runs they're huge. I haven't played FF6, although people are saying that the Pixel remaster is good music, so maybe I'll finally play the game to completion. I've been trying. Theologica, thanks for remembering up again, by the way. Imagine getting tired of nuking bosses.
The low-level run stuff is like, that's player challenge stuff. That's not how the game's designed. Like, that's saying, okay, if I purposely don't do it, then these things matter. No, I don't.
Is the roster. That's right. I mean, it's like Mino says, damage is always king. If you can just kill things fast, then nothing else really matters. Oh my god, I forgot about the Twitter thing. Oh shit.
What about the Twitter thing?
The pictures that I showed you with the bot. That was DMing me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, 1 second. I gotta jump over to that. Wait. Wait. I'm fucking up. Help. Help. Transition. I got weird Twitter DMs. I got weird Twitter DMs from what I thought was a bot. Hold on. I am incompetent. There we go. Transition. So I got someone asking me where I'm from, and so I said Earth. And they kept asking. So I said Earth again. And then I said I'll be serious and I'm from Wakanda. Thanks I work out is the universal response to anything, because nobody really knows how to respond to that. And then what really got me was Wakanda's in East Africa, right? That's what I was like, wait, because I thought they were basing it off of my Twitter name. That's how they got the Nero part. But then I looked at the profile, and they were following a bunch of Twitter people. Like, I think they were following like Broadway and Clay and stuff. I'm like, wait, who is this person? And it was some good-looking girl. I'm like, okay, this is obviously not a real person. Like, this is someone trying to scam me, I guess. Because I'm like, hold on. But they sent this, so they were obviously interacting with you. It wasn't scripted. So where did they really think Wakanda was a real place? I don't even like. I clearly have an American accent. So I mean, the account got suspended like eventually. Like I looked today and I'm like, oh damn, they're gone. I wish I could have taken a screenshot, but yeah, that was a thing that happened. I don't know, bro. It's not even an idiot, really. It's just funny shit. Okay. I forgot what reminded me of that. Wakanda Forever. I'm sure they weren't a bot, Jovial Roger, because they responded to my conversation. Wakanda's in East Africa is not something a bot would, unless it's like some advanced machine learning AI. That's unless they like reverse like Google searched it or something. I don't know. I don't know. I was about to get catfished. That's right, because they were looking good in that profile picture. I was about to simp. Anyways, what were we talking about?
You married?
What? No. Hell no. Absolutely not. No marriage, no kids. Fuck that. Navarre, you're ugly. I don't know where you're at, but you're ugly.
I was just so random.
I don't know, bro.
That was random. What's happening?
I don't know. I forgot because I meant to do it in the beginning of the stream, but I forgot because I'm so all over the place. Some player challenges are included and considered by designers, like FF9's timer-based treasure chest. I don't think that's analogous to what we were talking about.
That's not a player thing. That's more of a game.
It's a speed run. Yeah, speed runs are different from like.
It's not a player challenge if it's in the game. I don't understand. Like, I guess if you're saying like Kingdom Hearts has the mode where you can lock yourself to level 1, right? And you can like make it so you don't level up. That's part of the game. Low level challenge not using espers in FF6. That's player based. There's nothing in the game encouraging that or pushing you towards that. Anyways, the chat's going off topic, and I already lost interest in this. But I was gonna say, since people were arguing about Pokemon now, if the argument is, oh, they like all 160 characters need to be more distinct. What RPGs are you guys playing where every character has no overlap in what they do? And if you do manage to name some, how many like RPGs that aren't like that? Like it's exception to the rule, right? Like I can pick any JRPG, say fucking Chrono Trigger. What does Luca do different from Magus, right? Like they're both just magic nukers. Like what does Frog do different than like they're not that fucking different. I don't understand what you want when you play an RPG. All of a sudden, DFFOO, this random ass fucking gacha game, has to make 160 unique RPG characters.
This game is
like
hard.
I don't fucking
hashtag it's just math. Wow, this is the third time you called me ugly and that's been 30 minutes. Listen, Navarre, you sent me too many roast videos, dog. Me and Navarre have the same sense of humor, and it's hilarious. What? Wait, was I laughing so hard my Fitbit thought I was exercising? What the fuck? Why did it hold on. Wait, why did I just get notified good workout? Excuse me? Fitbit, please. Alphano, if anyone's a bot in my chat, it's Alphano. Is there violence yet? He says that every single time.
Every stream.
Every
stream.
Every single stream. Is there violence? Jesus. Okay, so let's guess what C100 is gonna be. I'm guessing more cap raises. Wow. Okay, that was boring. Never mind. I don't want to.
Damn, I haven't been on Ranting Hour in a minute. Is this what it's like now? This is
this is me winging it because I prepared absolutely nothing.
You have a week between shows, man.
Listen, I have nothing to say. I just didn't prepare at all, so I'm just gonna. Well, thankfully I have a good chat to bounce off of. But I was saying earlier, like I'm not angry about anything. Like game's just boring right now. It really is nothing to talk about. I was actually thinking of just going bi-weekly on this because one,
healthier.
Yeah, more time.
The less frequent, the better. That's one.
Yes.
The second thing is even. I'm sure this isn't actually the reason, but it's funny to say that even Josh wanted to skip through the fucking stream because there's nothing to talk about.
There's legit.
Really, like,
it's
nothing to talk about.
Sleeps. Where was I going with that? I am legitimately not going to be here because I'm good. I'm working on my tooth implant process, so I'm not going to be. I don't think I'm going to be talking that much. So next week I'm out. FYI. C100 EX calls. Yeah, that would make sense. At least. Can we talk about Elden Ring? No, because I ain't played it yet.
Someone said something like C100 could potentially be like, what's it called? Them reworking calls or something like that.
Maybe they'll try and rework additional abilities again. We're definitely getting BT boards. There's some BT boards.
Oh no, we definitely are getting BT boards.
Wouldn't C100 have to counter force time? Or it could make it better. I think the question should be, what would you guys do to make the game interesting and challenging again? In global? Wait. Wait.
Wait. Like right now with the 8 months of content we know are coming.
Nothing.
Like what would we do?
Nothing.
Or what will we do moving forward? Like what's the? I want to zoom in on that question.
Yeah, Ronald, could you elaborate what you mean? I mean, really, like one of the other topics I was fielding was how to touch grass during garbage time.
How to touch
That
grass
could have been a
during
topic.
garbage.
I didn't I type that? I did type that. I
You
typed
did,
that.
and then you fucking wander off topic. Like I don't know what's happening with this show.
It's off topic, these nuts. How about that?
I was like, oh man, my friend's dying. I better hop in and help. And
I could figure it out. I was getting there. I was getting there.
I don't know, man.
I was
hours
getting there.
Listen, hours half over, man.
Yes, by design. C100 will make Jagron from Cockroach to actually a usable character. Rephrase: won't the mobs of C100 have to counter force time? That rephrase unfortunately did not help me understand what you mean. Maybe you get Braska C100.
Blind Eye needs to stop.
Blind Eye's coping, bro. They need to rework calls. Alternatives.
Got back to us saying, I think the question should be, what would you guys do to make the game interesting and challenging again?
Wait, isn't that what he said the first time?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure that's what he said the first time.
Yeah, he said that the first time.
That's what he said the first time.
Oh, then never mind.
Look, Mino, he doesn't derail as hard as Historia Crux does.
I still need to watch.
Yesterday?
I still need to watch that episode. I still need to watch. I know, no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah, I'm not.
No spoilers.
What were you gonna say? Go ahead. Let's just turn this into
let's turn it into how to touch grass during garbage time. What I've been doing is I've been making sure I go back in the gym. I've been working out in my apartment, but now I'm actually going to the gym, biking over there. 6:30 in the morning, getting my weights in. Feels good. 4 times a week. That's good stuff. Eating right, cooking more. I'm buying even more groceries so I don't get tempted to fucking Uber Eats some fried chicken. Getting your diet right, get your life right. I mean, I think the world's opening back up now. Although maybe we're gonna get blown up by Ukraine. I don't know. But the world's opening up a bit more. So really, this channel kicked off because pandemic kicked off, and I ain't have shit else to do, and I'm getting shit else to do, so I'm doing less YouTube. You feel me? I'm losing money doing this, although I do talk about how I like making money. I make $500 a month on that. That is not a livable wage.
DC for this episode, you guys really like to throw fucking money away.
Yes. Wait, what?
I said if people are subbing for this episode, right? Like this episode of RH.
Wow.
It's rough, man.
Listen.
What?
Listen.
What?
Okay, wait, he rephrased. I'm trying to introduce a topic that is worth discussing. I don't care if it's JP or global. The question remains, what could the devs do to change things for the better? Well, I think JP's in a fine spot-ish. They stopped increasing boss HP again for some reason, but since C90 is about to end, I'm waiting to see what they do with that. Not hope, please no. RNA BT, please. As long as they just update the boss HP, then it's all good. So, I mean, Shenryu feels fine to me. It's enjoyable. I'm still not rushing to do things on release day, which I've found better for my sanity. One, because they won't fix the fucking time zone bug in JP. How annoying is that? That's been there for 5 years and they still won't fix it.
Wait, what's the time zone bug?
So if you're not playing in Japan time on your phone and you try and unlock something for a character, say like their Crystal 90, you can't because the game hasn't registered that that time has passed yet. That's a big reason.
To fix it, right? What? I don't know. Like I said, maybe they just don't care to fix it.
I mean, that's still stupid because what if you live in Japan but you decide to travel and you're just fucked? I mean, there's no good reason not to fix that, especially because it's something so simple, and it's not present in global, which is doubly irritating.
Yeah, fair.
It's just a weird thing. Forgot this was longer than I'm missing much. Global, what could they do? They could increase the boss HP.
Or give us new fight. Honestly, like that's all of it. That's all of it.
They could recycle. They could just do like they did with Equinox. Just recycle a fight, and they could honestly just run a randomizer, and it'd probably be a little bit more like a randomizer with a boss and an orb. I would play that. A default boss randomizer wouldn't even have to make sense. I think I'd try it at least. Let's see. Here we go again. BC's Navarre. I'm about to invite you to a server, bring you in voice chat, and roast your dumbass. You better watch him out. Lufenia Plus is in fact on. It's just base Lufenia. I don't play JP, but didn't. Oh yeah, that is Nope. Cam still works. I sub for this random rambling. Yes, because sometimes the diamond in the rough is my bullshitting.
This is ugly. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it a lot, but I always forget where we talk about things because like all these fucking shows are becoming the same. Cross is on like 3 out of 5 shows right now.
What's the what's the 3 out of 5?
Historia
Yours,
Crux, this one,
and Lost.
Simply Lost. Like I don't even know why you guys call it. Yeah, you're right. You didn't realize that? I don't even know why you guys call it the Simply Lost.
No, I thought you were going to say live stream, because I was about to say, I've never been on that show.
Yeah, no, fuck that show. I don't know why you guys call it the Simply Lost hour or whatever, because it's literally just Historia Crux plus Simply Lost. Like, that's all your people. All those people been on the fucking...
Can we get some say-its in chat? Can we get some say-its in chat? Your people, whoa.
And also, yeah, no, so all the shows are fucking blending together. BC was on Historia Crux yesterday, shows up on TCC, like all the fucking shows are blending together. What?
I'm barely on TCC. What are you talking about?
Bullshit, shut up.
What do you mean? When was the last time? I've been on there like 3 times max.
No.
Yeah, we can count. I remember because there was the one I did before BT started. Go ahead, Cross.
You know what? Never mind.
Nah, let it fly. Let it fly. It was the one right before Burst.
No, because what's it called? Yeah, I don't remember you being on TCC that much.
I wasn't.
It's usually Mark and Mino.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't. I'm in the chat trolling.
Recently,
I come on the post show.
Yeah,
does that count? That doesn't count.
Yeah,
that doesn't count. We don't even talk about Dissidia there. What? That doesn't count. We just bullshit there.
Anyways,
oh my god.
I don't remember where it's said because I feel like we've been talking about this a lot during Garbage Time. Garbage Time feels like fucking limbo. I think it's only been a month. It feels like half a year now. But the simple answer to how you can make the game more interesting is make everything lockouts. Lockouts. Like every other gacha game, that's how they keep it. That's how you don't mind the quote-unquote homogenized kits, because you always need more characters. And talking to friends who are just starting out during Anniversary, some of their favorite stuff is building their roster for Transcendence. For veterans, Transcendence is not a big deal, right? Because we can field 6 characters every 2 months, no problem. But for new accounts, they're having a lot of fun as
I can echo
setting that as a goal, right?
My buddy just recently caught up to Transcendence, and he was having fun mixing.
Yeah. And all my friends who are new to the game too, their favorite part is building Transcendent teams. Like they're like, oh, should I pull this character? It's like, oh, I already have a tank, but yeah, it's like I already have a tank, but I could always use more for entropy stages or Transcendent stages, right? Like, and then like playing any other gacha. I know none of you losers play other gachas because you got like, oh, DFFOO's so free to play. Like I think you guys would die in Brave Exvius or something, right? Or any other real gacha with big lockouts. But the point is like, that's how pulling is always fun, because you always need more. It's not pull Garnet and be set for 6 fucking months. It's pull Garnet and hey, she can be used as one of my 60 characters I need for this tower coming up.
Yep.
Like,
yeah. That's
how you keep the game fun. That's how one broken ass meta character doesn't completely destroy the game, and that's how you don't get people bitching. The game's too easy because I run Garnet on everything. Why wouldn't I run Garnet? I pay money to be strong, right? Like, lockouts is 100% how you make gacha games fun.
Yes.
That's it. That's the only solution you need.
Yep. And they pulled back from that for some reason. So.
But yeah, Cross, I wanted to hear what you wanted to talk about yesterday's HC episode. What happened?
No, watch it yourself.
What happened?
Yeah, watch it yourself.
Yeah, watch it yourself.
Was there some violence?
No.
Some friendly fire?
It was me and Navarre roasting each other incoherently. I really got serious about the game when I was scrambling for a Dimensions End roster. Garnet Cycle had interactive bosses. Yes. I feel that I think I asked this on HC yesterday, but I was like, I remember it was an episode when Bard was on, and then he was like, "I'll never miss Tier 6 or Shiva," and I was like, "Are you sure about that?" Because now looking back, at least those fights you had to overcome something, but now it's kind of like just you sneeze and the bosses die. The old adage, you can never have too many supports. You know what? I don't like that. I don't like that at all anymore. I think that's almost, if that was ever true in the game, I don't think it is currently. I think, and then the whole DPS die quickly thing, I think that's also kind of dead. I think maybe that might be due to the fact that you can get more mileage out of units by blue armoring and ultimate weaponing them, but I think you can have too many supports, because if they're not fully invested, you're not getting those caps. And
wasn't that one of your agenda items? Did you cover that yet? HP
kinda.
Cap, HP damage up? Because I'm saying that's how the support thing goes, right? Like, before, you want to stack supports because you have this giant empty cup, and you could stack all the supports and still not come close to cap. So stacking supports was great. Now, so you kind of asking yourself what you're
BT
gaining.
effects are there too. So
yeah, you're kind of asking yourself what you're gaining, because a lot of the DPS. So I'm not even talking about JP. I'm talking about GL right now. A lot of these DPS cap with no supports whatsoever. Like, Alice does not need any help. Papa Limo does not need any help. Like, you could run them outside of synergy, and because they hit so much weakness and have so much brave damage up on their own shit, they are capping with 0 supports. So what is a support actually bringing to the team at that point? Because they're already capping their overflow, so they don't need max brave up, they don't need overflow, they don't need brave damage up. The only thing that's relevant right now is HP cap up, because that's the only thing DPS can't do for themselves.
it is the limiting factor. Is that the right phrase? I don't know the right phrase, but it's just math. let me type that in my damn chat.
Right. So like, I think I said this, and I'm pretty sure I agree more than ever, is that right now we're at a part where supports are very undesirable. The only reason you guys want Garnet is because she gives 40% HP cap up. No, 50%,
honestly,
right?
I don't even know what the fuck else Garnet does except for...
Yeah, it doesn't matter what else the fuck she does, because the only support that matters at this point is HP cap up. Stats up don't matter. Brave damage up don't fucking matter. Raise your fucking brave cap, who cares? You're limited by HP anyway.
And by the way, don't be a well actually and say like, oh, in this team, in this setup, like, okay, if assuming you're running a competent team, diminishing returns, you barely see a difference. But you do notice the
cap
caps
on his own, right? Like, everyone is gonna cap on their own. All the DP Edgar caps on his own. He just sucks, but he's really good at capping on his own.
Ink saying debuffs will be more relevant. Stat debuffs need more relevance, and I would say they weren't always that relevant to begin with. Embrave and iBrave have always been niche.
Yeah, I want to say, like, Mark said it a long time ago. I agree with him. Debuffs have always been kind of a niche thing. Yeah. That's why I always said, quote unquote, debuffs suck, because buffs were always universally relevant. Debuffs were not, but they mattered when the fights catered to it, right?
Yeah,
like if like an enemy had a really high stat that was meant to be debuffed.
Yes.
So like, I would say debuffs are kind of like dispels, or like something like that, where there's fights that come in, they're very good for, but I would not say they're universally useful.
It's easier to control it player side than allowed to be controlled enemy side, just because when it's on our side, like it's easier to buff our attack than to drop their defense. And to that regard, debuffs are relevant, just not stat debuffs, because there's some wacky debuffs that you can use that trigger effects. Like, those are fun, but yeah, I don't really mind it. It's just a path to play the game. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, path is good, because like you could count traps under debuffs. You can count you can count. Hell, you can count the fucking tank ors that reduce damage taken as debuffs, because they're not fucking buffs, like...
Layla has a fucking blind under Thunder and Peril, like that kind of matters. My poor ears from the chickens. Oh, the Shiva chicken. I was tripping there. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, actually, Garnet is every exclusive. So I was doing number calculations with my buddy earlier, and we were trying to see how high potentially our HP cap could get, and we clocked it out at 246, I believe, and that setup would be twins versus 3 targets, so that's 45%. The twins themselves bring, I think, 45 something. It's 40 something. No, twins have 40% on the BT effect. Twins, high armor plus, I think, goes up to 45. I don't know the exact number. And then Ramza bringing 51%, and then Garnet bringing 40%. And then you bring Ifrit summons, an additional 30. I don't know where I was going with that at all, actually. But that's a lot of damage.
I don't know where you're going.
I don't know why. I brought that up for some reason.
I'm so glad you're so lucky to be friends with me, BT. I'm going to save your fucking show right now.
Oh, Ink's
but,
here.
Oh, he's in the show?
Yep, here he is. Hi, Ink.
Right.
Say hello to the people. You're live.
Hello, Ink.
Hi.
I figured I'd come and defend my perspective if I need to.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the thing is that back in the day when the game was probably a little bit more challenging and we were just doing like brave attacks and then into HP attacks, you had cases where you could debuff iBrave to ensure that bosses, when they were recovering from break, like, do you remember the C60, the first C60 awakenings, when the birds would recover to their iBrave and they would flat out kill you because your HP wasn't high enough, and you used to debuff iBrave to lower that value so that you could take those hits. You used to lower mBrave for the exact same reason. You used to lower attacks so that they dealt ones to you, so that Brave plus HP attacks didn't kill you. All these debuffs, the stat debuffs, they used to be relevant. It's just the game has moved away from those numbers. Like, you look at there are other games where you can cripple bosses and lower their stats, and it's still relevant, and those stats matter. For whatever reason, dropping opponents' attacks literally doesn't do anything anymore. It doesn't matter because you either completely die or they tickle you, right? It's like very like
we got a lot of good tanks, so attack down. It's easier to just bring a tank to attack down. I think because debuffs can work. It's just there's easier player side options. So you can still notice attack downs. You can still stack them like with Pain's brave damage reduction and their stacking. And if you run, what's another good attack? Vanille's attack. So there are attack down units that can work, but it's generally easier just like attack down wise. Bring a tank. If you need to eat an attack like that, bring a tank. If you need to punch through bosses' buffs, you bring a BT or.
There was a stretch in the summer where all these bosses were ignoring mitigation. If you remember that, I think the Beetle was part of that.
Queen's boss. No, that thing cleansed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eldnarsh's boss, etc. There was a long stretch where that's where Jin was making all his Vincent runs. Yes. Like, I'm not gonna say attack downs matter now in Loof Plus because you're all no turning this shit anyways. But it wasn't that long ago that attack down was still very relevant. I remember running Cont'd for ages because this shit couldn't get cleansed.
I would also say, Ink, that while you brought up a good example with the birds, that was again that boss specific, because it's not like you were iBrave, mBrave downing every single boss.
Yeah.
Right, but we don't have bosses like that anymore. Right?
Well, that's not really debuffs not mattering. It's it's not debuffs not working. It's the phrasing around it. It's more that the bosses aren't interacting with being debuffed.
Right.
There's a difference.
This goes back to what Mino, was it your suggestion that was like, hey, I feel like all bosses should warp. Like, if you take 5 turns in a row, just warp the boss. I feel like you were the one that was arguing for that, so that you couldn't no-turn any bosses.
That was Raw Life's idea, and Mino stole it from him.
Okay. Very
now that's
funny.
possible.
What? I meant it. I don't know what the joke is there. I saw Raw say it first.
When is Raw ever done anything that wasn't a copy of me?
I mean, I don't know.
How often does he say in TCC Discord, like almost every day, I hate when I agree with Mino so much, and he says that like 5 times a fucking day, and then he just copies and pastes.
I thought he said, I hate when Mino agrees with me.
I hope he changes his name to Raw No Life Good. That would be hilarious.
No, that would be bad. That would be really bad. Please don't do that, Raw. I'm begging you. Damashi says there was a time when stat debuffs were really powerful. in most of the Chaos era and half of Lufenia. Kefka's attack down. Wait, well, does Kefka's attack down not have bosses been increasing their attack? I don't know.
No, I don't think they have. I
Like,
really
doesn't that still?
I really think
doesn't
people
that still
just
work?
O-turn it. I'm pretty sure people just run Garnet lock,
Yeah.
kill the boss before they get any turns, and say,
I don't know,
wish
because
debuff mattered
I
more." Like,
watched Sephi run Vincent and Reno, and he makes bosses hit ones.
You really can still neuter
Yeah,
bosses
you
with
can do it.
debuff. It's just that most people aren't choosing to because that's not the
Because
path
they're
of
no
least
turning.
resistance.
Yeah,
That's not the path
it's-
of least
yeah, it's
resistance.
not.
So I don't think debuffs got weaker. There's just no reason to cripple bosses right now.
Yeah, that's an entirely different argument.
Don't you remember the C50 era when we were like, oh god, who was released? Was it when Celeste first came out? And it's like, well, tanks don't matter until like Ultimate Ifrit. Like Celeste cheeses Ultimate Ifrit, but tanks have no value right now. Like there was an era when tanks were not good enough. They didn't exist because they didn't.
Bad. Oh man,
Yeah,
those were
like
good times.
there was
I
a
remember-
time when we didn't have tanks, and that's when those debuffs mattered more, I guess.
Did they? I don't. This that's a
I don't know.
it's hazy now. I don't really remember
That's-
that.
I mean, there was an era when tanks were pretty
Look,
damn bad.
I took like 140 turns once to kill the behemoth in the artifact grinding stage. So like I remember that time when I was a noob. Those were good times. Taking 140 turns to kill that behemoth is like that's nuts.
I brave down for
but-
Sephiroth heretics. Yes, that is a good. It's a good point. I brave down was super effective there for lowering their shields.
Yeah, there's this stuff used to be relevant because you couldn't just out damage it, right? Now the fact that you can deal 1 brave damage and still deal, 600k HP damage just sort of shows how they've sort of forced the stats around a few key stats, and they've invalidated all the others.
I don't
like,
think
the
I brave
The game
down
moves in
really.
cycles. Magic the Gathering does the same thing. Different metas for different seasons. Different things are more powerful in different sets.
What's the quote? War.
That's just how.
Change.
That's just how the game. That's just how long life service games work. It just
Yeah.
works in cycles. They cycle what's effective because if it was the same every time.
By the way,
then-
Necklord's banned.
They
from
do-
here. Fuck
Okay.
Necklord because for having bad Halo opinions. Holy shit, I'm triggered. Oh, Necklord never shows up again.
What he
Oh
said.
my god, I hate Necklord. I'm really, but Halo changes too, but sometimes not for the better. Like Halo Infinite. Fuck Halo Infinite. Anyways,
I don't know. Stat debuffs used to be relevant, and we've gone through eras of the game where certain stats mattered more and more. And I know this because I kept that damn infographics by buffs page relevant for like probably a year
now
on the Converge
Ink,
site.
that's circular logic, sir. Just because
How is it circular?
because you're justifying your own viewpoint by saying you had a reason to keep it up. Because obviously, if you didn't
I'm
think
not
it was worth
justifying it. I didn't get to my point yet.
it. Okay, go ahead.
I just know about. I've paid so much attention to stats that you realize that over time, like there was a time when we first got Chaos, Cloud Sphere was crap, right? No one wanted Cloud Sphere because attack was more important, right? And it sort of went by the wayside. As soon as we got Brave damage reductions, all of a sudden Brave damage was more important. Attack was less important. There's like these constantly evolving stats in terms of which stats are probably the most relevant. Right now we're in an HP cap up stat is probably the best stat up, right?
Yes.
It's constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. We've never. There maybe was an era when defense down. Maybe when Vaughn got 60. Like I remember when like just dropping defense down with White Whirl was like fantastic, right? Yeah. Like I could see a huge difference spike from his defense down. But it's just never been as important, I guess. I don't know.
And like
but don't think cycle. Could you answer like the Magic the Gathering thing? Like some seasons, aggro decks are on top. Sometimes it's control decks. Sometimes it's draw decks. Sometimes it's burn decks. The meta just changes. That's how live service games work. That's like arguing, hey, remember it used to be meta that Kate Sith and Lael, like launch teams used to be meta? How come launch teams aren't meta anymore? Or how come full battery teams aren't meta anymore? Remember when Overflow first came out and it was laughed at because you could just battery everyone to max? Or like that, games just change. Metas change. Like, this is where debuffs are just out of favor now.
So,
go ahead.
Magic cycles, right? Like you genuinely have, you're right that there are sets where certain sets push control a little bit more because they have more tools, whereas there's maybe more aggro tools in another set, and so the rotating blocks, right? They tend to have sort of rotating decks or archetypes that are most relevant. DFFOO doesn't have that though, right? It maybe launch is like the one thing that you could say rotates, like as new launch units come out, right? Lael becomes relevant again, and people love using Lael whenever like the new launch enabler comes out, like that kind of deal. Like I get that, but I feel like the fact that they have pushed the game toward having a few key stats has made all the other kits seem basically arbitrarily the same, right? That's why we were saying, what's the point of support?
Force helps even that out, because then you're bringing people for the one specific thing they can do, and that feels good. Like if they have, like for Aerith, that they have a good special HP attack, then like that's something that they can do. So I mean, it becomes like so in terms of like roles, things kind of got homogenized, but in terms of like what their actual buttons can do, I think that that variety is still there, and it's more of a reframing how you're thinking about kits in the game rather than buffs and debuffs and counters and off turns and stuff. It's more how do their buttons work and how do they interact.
Would they fix things if they made more enemies similar to the LBT fight or the Garland fight where they like straight up counter, or the Deuce fight where they straight up counter and nuke you if you use a certain attack type?
No, that's lame. That's lame.
It's kind of lame.
I don't like that.
So it's lame, but the problem is, I've said this before, and I won't like dive too much into it if you all disagree, right? But like Imperil overriding resistances like melee resist and ranged resist, Imperil's overriding that since Golbez basically made that you no longer needed like, oh, I need a melee attacker. Like it literally doesn't matter. None of the attack types matter anymore, right?
I'm fine with that.
Only through orbs does it matter, right? Like when you got a ranged orb that ticks up and you want to use Trey, where Trey and Kane like literally dominate the ranged orbs. If you're okay with that, that's fine, but it goes back again, right, to the fact that attackers become more homogenized.
Yeah.
Right? We can no longer say that like a certain magic unit is like, oh, this is great magic DPS. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant.
And I think it's not necessarily a bad thing that it doesn't matter, because again, with Force, it's more on it's player side to determine the value of those things instead of the bosses requiring it, which I think is a much better, because if the whole whatever X not mattering anymore, it becomes relevant again when it becomes pertinent to actually doing damage. So if everything is eclipsed by you need to do more damage, then role coverage and roster diversity comes down to how can you go about increasing the force time. So I think and there might be there's debuff related FRs like Titus and Ferris' scales by how many debuffs are on a target. I'm sure they'll get more varied. So I think honestly, they've been working around this rebalancing, and don't all RPGs end up converging on do like chip damage to the boss until they become weak and then wail on them? It feels like the natural progression.
That's just Square Enix RPGs.
Is it? It probably is.
Yeah, because that's where it came out. Like FF13 started it, right, with the chain system. Yeah. And then
I love
you got FF7. You've got FF7R following suit. All their gotchas, like FFRK, had this. That's why I told you I called Force Time early, because FFRK does the same fucking thing with their chain elements. So I'm saying, no, it's specifically a Square Enix thing. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I wouldn't say that's an RPG thing. That's a SQEX thing.
Yeah, you're right. Because I was thinking of them like Souls games where you like need to like stagger an enemy and then you beat their ass then too. But I was entertaining that thought earlier, but I didn't go very far with it clearly. But Persona like knocking people down, that doesn't count. Although you are working towards something, but I don't know. I think the how we value things is important, because definitely right now in the game the balance is all fucked, because it's just HP cap, and that's really what matters.
Yeah, it's like rate cap up is pretty dead.
Right now. This snapshot period in the game, the balance is absolutely just butt fucked. But with Force, it starts making a bit sense.
Like that's why Garland's BT effect really didn't age well, because like we started noticing that, you know, all these characters are capping, so you don't really need Brave cap up.
Yeah.
And Garland's BT effect was just that.
Force is the great equalizer.
And
Force is like a player side orb, right? It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Did they ever play? Because I haven't looked obviously ahead into JP, but there were fights that we used to have. I can remember like Trey's initial event where bosses. Yeah, it was awful, but there were like windows of opportunity, right, where the boss goes through different phases, and there's a certain phase that's probably the best to like aim your BT at this phase, or you know, something like that, where you can't do a lot in certain phases. But there's like a very specific setting that's like, okay, here's when you want to go off. I wish they played with that more and had those windows so that we could not only plan around Force time, but also plan around like sort of the boss phase or the boss cycle.
That kind of happens now, because they do have the threshold markers, and then the enemy's like effects change on how high the Force gauge is. So if you know they're about to go into Force, you might have to like hold up, or if you know how to counter it. So there's things going on. So I think really the balance is fucked in GL right now. That's really
the most recent boss in JP did that actually. Like it would like at points like buff itself, so you would have to like pick your timings of when it actually to like, you know, go in and stuff like that, because it would just give itself like it make you like do 0 HP damage. Right. So you would have to pick your time to like go on the aggression, but at the same time there were points where it would like throw up a shield and you have to deal with the shield.
Yeah. Ooh, King for $5 for FF5 hype. Can't wait for Greg Burst. You want to get hype for FF100 real quick?
FF100.
Do you guys want to respond to Malsite? Like, I don't know enough about Tifa and Renoa, but
speaking about the game's overall health, can we agree the power creep is getting this Malsite? This is what I was saying at the beginning of the stream. You could take your comment, insert X character here, and say the creep is getting truly insane, because people were saying that during Cosmos and Chaos. People literally said that about Renoa during Cosmos, and here we are, Renoa hasn't even been out for 2 weeks, so no. We can't say it's getting truly, because you know what the thing about power creep is. If they're overpowering the enemies, then the enemies are just going to get stronger. Like we've seen, you've been through when Tifa was doing insane damage on her turns when she first got her LD. It just goes in cycles. It never changes. It's always.
Y'all need to play other fucking gotchas, man. FFRK has like 20 difficulty levels, and like a relatively built character can do max damage in 19 of the difficulties. Then when you hit that max one, they're doing hundreds of damage.
Renoa soloed her Cosmos when she first got EX, and then we got like Chaos like 2 months later.
She didn't have a Cosmos. She got an EX stage. She didn't have a Cosmos.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Also, Renoa didn't solo her Cosmos. Renoa like certain players soloed that Cosmos with Renoa, because not everyone could do that.
You know what I meant. Jesus. Vayne soloed his Cosmos. Like it's just the game.
He was also able to solo his own Chaos. Yeah, that
happened too. So yeah,
they can always just add
insane games ending. Yeah, it's just
difficulty. It's just math. They can always just add a fucking difficulty and shut down all your numbers. You guys, it's mind-boggling.
If the players are doing too much damage, the bosses will just get stronger.
We talk about intelligence and pattern recognition, and people don't realize we've got 5 years every time. No, they just add a difficulty.
I mean, that's
where
why
characters were doing 9999 damage. Now they're doing less than 1,000.
Remember, like Segoya when he showed off his like Cryo doing ones and deuces fight. Like Noctis was king of the meta during Cosmos, and then Chaos came up and Noctis did ones. Like this is why people freak out about new difficulties, because there's still lingering Chaos PTSD.
That was the same thing with Lufinia Plus, right?
Yes.
Because people were like having strategies, right, to just
exactly.
go like
Because this happens
people
every
are
time.
so stupid. Jesus, this happens every year.
It happens.
They release a new difficulty
Yes.
more than once a year.
Yes.
More than, like, if you count the amount of time between difficulties, it's realistically like 9 months or less. And every time people freak the fuck out. Dude, if you can go back and watch the video, because I know BC and I sat around when Shinryu was released, and all these streamers were trying Shinryu and being like, what the fuck? You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm doing 0 damage.
Oh, no, I remember that.
Because of the
yeah.
passive
Yeah,
HP
dude,
damage
like I was
reduction,
watching,
you know?
I was watching lids, I was watching actual JP streamers. They were like, "Fuck, what is this difficulty? Like, this might be too much. I might want to quit the game." You wait
And
2
then
days.
the
to-
Reddit posts were popping off again.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks
Yeah, you
insane. Yeah, people
you
like,
wait
not
3
even do
days.
people say that with. You're saying that now about Renault and Tifa. People said that shit with Kane. Look at Kane now.
Oh god damn! It's just math. They just have to add numbers on the enemy side. That's all.
Yeah,
Why are
yeah,
people
that's
still
yeah,
adding
that's
questions?
kind of what I'm thinking too. Is like everyone's like gassing up Tifa and Renoa,
Hey,
and then
watch
when
your
we
mouth.
get the new
I know you don't like Tifa, bro. Hey, yo, this man sold her
Hey,
BT.
I
don't trust his
I will
opinion on
stand by
Tifa.
that. I will stand by
This
that.
man's
I
a
saw
risk.
her BT and that FR.
Wildin'. Look at it. Look
I
at
don't
this
give a
dude.
shit.
Hating ass. They did-
Anywho, yeah, no, people are gassing up
freaked out
Tifa
about,
Renoa, but like, just wait until the new difficulty comes up, and we get
Bro,
bosses that just have like.
let me find that
a lemon
picture
on
I
your
have, because I have a specific receipt for this occasion. It's one from one of those chaos freakout threads, and it's someone saying 3 years ago the game's gonna die in 2 years because the power creep's insane. Let me find that picture real quick. This has been happening for so long, and especially if you've been I've been creating content, so like my stuff's out there, and I can go see my own opinions, and I can see like every time I say this, I always say grace period. If you think something's wild, wait like 2 months and see how.
Funny
it pans
thing
out.
is, you were collecting clips of people freaking out during new difficulties and power creeps.
Yes,
and I'm
I still
pretty
have
sure saw-
that folder.
And I'm pretty sure I saw Malicite's name back then too.
He probably was in there.
I'm just saying.
I
I'm just saying.
I just take
like,
pictures every time I see something.
This is why we
some
study
shit that's
history,
not gonna
guys.
age well.
Pattern recognition.
Damn,
Christ.
where did I? It's in my projects folder because it was supposed to become a video. It never materialized. Where did I put this? Damn, I got.
How much bank would SQEX make if they made the weapon glosses act like mini ultimate weapons?
No.
No, what?
I get
What?
no, but it would totally work.
Okay, yep. This is a great time to bring up the receipts folder from way back. you guys are gonna have your mind blown by some of these images. Hold on, let me go into studio mode. Let's see. Where did I put this? Where folder? I labeled this folder. This game is dying. Let's see. There it is. Damn. I wish I'd made this into a video. It would have been so clever. Oh well. History's gonna repeat itself. Let's see. Is this the right photo? Yeah. Here we go. Put that on screen. Make it bigger. Transition that. So look at studio mode off. Look at this comment, guys. Character balancing just sucks. I remember when I told the group they should just go ahead and give everyone double HP attacks because they failed to change the score system to aid those brave attack units. They practically done this, but I wish it didn't. The main culprit is overflow. Look, overflow is the big killer of the game. If you do a combination of brave and HP attacks to multi-hit to some degree, you're likely a decent character. If not, you suck and you set that bench for good. This is from 3 years ago. Can you believe that?
Do you remember the time frame? Do you remember the time
This
frame?
was when people were losing their minds about chaos difficulty.
Early
Chaos
chaos?
difficulty, yes.
I was gonna say that too. Chaos difficulty had 20 to 30% reductions and people were freaking out.
Look at it. This is from 3 years ago. I'd like to know whether they're currently making plans to address the numbers creep and the complexity of rework skills, or just adding effect on condition and and this we didn't even have LDs at this point. It's clear from watching any JP video that this game is in dire need of innovation or some sort of paradigm shift if it's to survive another 2 years. This is a 3-year-old post.
Surviving another 2 years. Once again, though, I don't think any of you guys play other gachas. What do you guys? How
play
long do you
gacha.
think the average lifespan of a gacha is? This
oh,
game won't make
yeah.
it in 2 years. Like, what? Are you fucking serious?
Most Eastern Asian games tend to do the way of Powercreep instead of managing design space like Western games. The devs should take notes regarding game design from card games. You guys don't understand how many poorly aged posts I have. The big issue with combat came when they had potencies. Oh boy, over 100% for Brave and HP skills. There's no point to basic Brave attacks anymore.
But my potencies...
The potencies need to be over 200% to be turn efficient. What the fuck does that mean? The game is lost choices, leaving Brave plus HP the only survivor. A game with no choice becomes shallow and turns into a number creep game. They need to make basic Brave attacks great again to rebalance the game. You look at all this stuff. This is from 3 years ago.
You know,
it's crazy.
No one ever talked about the fact that Rem has, or bitched that Rem only has one Max Brave passive, and that's why her Max Brave is shit. Why it's always been so low is because she only has one passive. No one's talking about the she has such a high M Brave stat, right? Like no one bitches around them. Like that actually matters, like the number of passives you have towards something. Meanwhile, they want to talk about potencies.
I don't know. It's 9:10. We need to start wrapping up. But just know, people, I save these things. I save these poorly aged posts. I don't remember Mino was surprised once that I remember stuff so well. I know where to find stuff, so don't lack. I remember weird takes, and I save them for moments like these, just to remind everyone that nothing ever really changes. Which is really why it ends up driving me insane, because nobody learns. And
y'all too dumb to learn from your mistakes.
Nobody learns. We've been through power creep. It keeps happening. There's always that 2-month-ish grace period. I always say, wait it out, see what happens, judge it afterwards. But, Jesus, today was a clusterfuck. Ink, closing thoughts.
Oh, man, you want to pass it to me first, because I learned today that it's a common thing for dogs when they pee that they don't lift their leg high enough, and they may intentionally pee on themselves. And so sometimes, apparently, the way to get around this is to just help them and pick their leg up and hold their leg while they pee. So closing thought is if someone's struggling, just give them a hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good life advice. Thank you.
Well, it just got awkward. So,
Mino, closing thoughts. Jesus.
You're lucky. You got a friend like me, dog. I livened this show back up for you. Cross was doing his best, but this was a heavy load, Cross. I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, I was some ass
this
today.
Was a struggle.
I think I told him in the other server the other day. I'm like, yo, I'm about to be some ass today. I'm surprised I was on time. Like I have been exhausted lately, and yeah, bi-weekly is probably gonna happen. To be completely honest, because there's shit to talk about. You can only feel stupid so many times. Cross, closing thoughts. Sell, please. It's gross. Oh my god.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say.
I had nothing. If you ain't got nothing, you could be like me. Say y'all are ugly. That's the closing thought.
I guess the only thing I say is just play Gunvolt. I know none of y'all in here fucking play complicated high execution games except few people.
Gunvolt looks badass as fuck, man.
Yeah,
is that like a Zoomer Mega Man?
It's the same studio. The studio. Have you ever played any of the Zero games or the ZX games? We know.
Shit, it's the same people?
Yes, that studio. Yeah, people. They made their own. They stopped being tethered to Mega Man.
I love Mega Man ZX.
You do?
Yeah,
I didn't know that, dude. I
streamed that on TCC. What are you
really?
Talking about?
Oh shit! God. I didn't know that. I will go watch that. I love that game to death. I listen to the soundtrack like every day. Okay, yeah. I put me on the other day. I didn't know it was by the same people. I put the game on my wish list. I'm copying as soon as it goes on sale. Frame 1. This is a Gunvolt channel. Fuck you mean. Yeah, play Gunvolt. You stupid motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was gonna say also just expect random Gunvolt uploads.
Yeah.
Because the default's not fucking going anywhere.
When's the homie Mega Man session? Navarre, you thinking about Mega Man? Bro, what's going on?
Yo, that's weird.
Closing thoughts. I'm a fucking mess. Clearly, as evidenced by me winging it. I winged it last week, and I winged it this week. Cross came through both times, so shout out to him because I needed help. Thank you, Mino. Thank you, Ink.
You could, no, seriously, if you struggle for topics, You can always like specifically let me know. I always got shit to talk about. That's how I keep the podcast fresh.
I mean, bi-weekly, I've been leaning towards that anyways, just because I have felt sometimes like I don't feel like streaming, and me not feeling like doing something it usually means don't do it, but take a step back and do other things. I like streaming, I like all this stuff, but you know, I like my personal time too. Big introvert, and if I talk too much, then I get really burned out, which is why I need to not go on multiple streams during the week.
And yet you still keep fucking doing it, man.
It's a learning process, all right? Sometimes I make mistakes.
Don't fucking
and I learn from them. I learn. Why do you think I'm always like no post show? Because I feel like death. I have learned. I don't impulsively join the post show as much as I used to. Yeah. Huh?
I know. Yeah, that's insulting. You're joining HC instead.
What do you mean?
Fuck, man?
I don't do it all the time. Regardless, Navarre's ugly as fuck. Roasting hour.
You really have to get that out of your system?
Yes, I did. what was the videos he was sending me? Shotgun face, not that. The Roast Me episodes. I'm about to watch all 4 seasons of Roast Me because I need that in my life. You are late and no, but it's all good. No, Navarre. It's on site, my friend. This has been the Ranting Hour. Thanks everyone for coming through. I'm ending the stream because I'm rambling hard. No stream next week because my mouth's going to be fucked up. And goodbye.